Come where we usually get ready to have a meeting prior to all of our commissioner meetings. We always invite local clergy here to our meetings. This morning we are pleased to have Pastor Doug Brown with us here today. Thank you so much for coming over and leading our folks in prayer. And you're from the Monterey Baptist Church.
Yes, sir. Monterey Baptist Church by C&E.
Well, thanks for being here. Podium's yours. Would you lead us in prayer?
Absolutely. Let's pray. Father, we thank you. We recognize that that all of creation is yours, that the heavens declare your glory, the earth declares your glory, everything belongs to you. And we thank you for the graces that you grant each and every one of us in our lives, the regularity of life. We ask your blessing on each and every one of the Board of Commissioners, their marriages, their families, their health. Keep them safe, keep their minds clear to do your business as the governors of the county. We thank you for government. We recognize that it is you who appoints all government and all of its leaders for your time and purposes. We thank you for the blessing that it punishes the evil, that it rewards the good, and it keeps stability for our lives. Please bless each Board of Commissioner, bless our county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now to start our meeting, Commissioner Batchelor, if you lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Clermont County Board of Commissioners meeting on this beautiful July 17th day. Wow, July 17th. It is traveling so fast. The first thing that we need to do today is we need to excuse Commissioner Corcoran. Commissioner Corcoran is not here with us today, and she is excused from this particular meeting. We knew about that in advance, so let the record show that she is not in attendance. However, that we knew that in advance and that she was excused from this meeting. Was that the purpose there?
That was it.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you. Item number B is the approval of regular session minutes of 7/10/2024. Board, you've had these minutes early, had the opportunity to review them. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that motion. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Next item up is public participation. Does anyone here this morning from the public like to participate in this meeting? Okay, thank you. We will close public participation. Gail, do we have anything else? We have any new employees or anything introduced?
Nothing.
today?
Nothing.
Wow, that's usually not the case, right?
Mm-mm.
So we'll move on to item D, which is the consent agenda. Board, the consent agenda has been prepared for you. You've had it early, had an opportunity to review it. Are there any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda to be further discussed?
No, sir.
I have none either. With that, I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as provided.
I will make that motion.
And I'll second that motion. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number E is the non-consent agenda. We will go to that. It starts on page 3 with item number 7. Item number 7 starts off with we're going to make a motion to pay the bills or consider it a recommendation that the Board of County Commissioners adopt Resolution 089-24 to approve payment to vendors in the amount of $3,692,328.54 as outlined in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated July 17th, BCC directed prepaid invoices, and procurement card transaction report is presented by the county auditor on 7/15/2024. Further authorizing the auditor to issue warrants pursuant to section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that motion. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Item number 8 is with the prosecuting attorney. Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys today?
Fantastic.
Item number 8 is the recommendation to acknowledge the electronic filing of the 2024-2025 Victims of Crime, VOCA, and the State Victim Assistance SVAA grant application for funding from the State of Ohio, of the Attorney General, 30 East Broad Street, 23rd floor in Columbus for the continuation of the advocate program to extend victim advocate services to the Clermont County Common Pleas, municipal and juvenile courts, implemented by the prosecuting attorney for the period of 10/1 of 2024 through 9/30 of 2025, pursuant to and compliance with the terms and conditions of the grant as outlined below. FOCA grant, the amount is $59,630, which is 80% funded by the Department of Justice. The cash match amount is $14,908, which is the required amount from the prosecutor's office general fund appropriation, for a total VOCA amount of $74,538. And then the SVAA grant amount is $6,586, which is 100% funded by the Department of Justice, for a project total of $81,124.
Fantastic. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 8. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. Any further conversation?
No.
Okay.
Commissioner,
Roll. Yeah, go ahead.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. Item number 9.
Good morning, all.
Morning.
Morning.
Fountain, the prosecutor's office. Okay, item 9 is the recommendation to authorize the county administrator to execute on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners a voluntary repayment and wage deduction agreement entered into by and between the board, the Clermont County prosecutor, the juvenile court, an employee of juvenile court, Taylor Lee, and to approve the repayment of tuition assistance received by Ms. Lee in accordance with the terms and conditions of that agreement.
Board, you've heard the reading on item number 9. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Been moved. I'll second that. Any further conversation? Okay. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thank you, Jason. Item number 10.
Morning.
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 Renee Wilson with Clermont County ISD. This is a recommendation to execute the services agreement for the inmate phone system for the Clermont County Jail. This is between the BCC and Combined Public Communications out of Highland Heights, Kentucky. This is for a period of 3 years, effective August 15th, 2024 through August 14th, 2027. And this is a minimum annual guarantee of $311,000.
Thank you. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 10. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
And I will second that motion. Any further comments or
No.
discussions? Renee, is this the same agreement that we had before, or is this a revised agreement?
This is the same agreement we had in years past. We like them so much, we want to do it for 3 years.
I understand many years ago, this phone system wasn't as, how would you say it, as lucrative to the county as it is now.
It was not. It took a couple years, and you guys got probably one of the greatest deals you possibly could get with a really good company that is very responsive to any problems or questions that we have.
And when you talk about the portion that comes back, it's guaranteed to us. How much is that dollar figure?
$311,000. In years past, it's always been a little above that. We get 82% of the commission of talk time used with the inmate phone cards.
Fantastic. So for those that are listening there, there are a couple programs over at the jail that, result in additional revenue back to the operation of the jail. This is one of them. One of the other ones is Fresh Express. So, all of that aids in people who are incarcerated paying a portion of, the costs that it takes for the county to run that facility. So thanks. Thanks for being diligent on that.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Roll
you.
call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 11.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Desmond.
Item 11 is a recommendation to execute subrecipient agreements between the Board of Commissioners of Clermont County, Ohio, and the following political subdivisions or nonprofit organizations to administer the projects in concert with the Clermont County Community Development Block Grant Program for fiscal year 2020 in compliance with the terms and conditions of the agreement as outlined below and contingent upon the receipt of the required purchase order. The first agreement is with the Village of New Richmond in New Richmond, Ohio. Project is CDBG fiscal year 2020 Hamilton Street improvements. Funding amount is $103,500. Contract term 8/1/2023 through 12/31/2024. Second agreement is with the Clermont County Transportation Improvement District in Batavia, Ohio. CDBG fiscal year 2020. The project is the US 50 and State Route 132 intersection improvement. Funding amount is $189,147. Contract term 8/1/2023 through 12/31/2024.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 11. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that motion. Any further conversation? Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Thanks, Desmond.
Thank you.
Item number 12. Morning, Suki.
Item 12 is a recommendation to adopt Resolution 9024, resolving to authorize Jeremy Evans to execute, certify, and submit an application for financial assistance for emergency funding. This is for the Belfast-Owensville Bridge Deck Replacement Project in Stonewick Township. In the amount of $540,000 for the grant with a local match of $60,000 for a total project of $600,000. This is to OPWC, Ohio Public Works Commission. They have a separate set of emergency funds, and luckily we were able to use some of those to help us advance the replacement of this bridge. If you remember last couple of weeks ago, it was not even a whole month ago, we had to reduce the weight limit on that bridge down to 10 ton after we had found some subsurface problems with it. So we are going to get that application in, and with those funds, then we will start the process of getting that bridge deck replaced.
Fantastic. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 12. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that motion. Any further conversation and discussion? You know, it's great that you guys have that kind of relationship with OWP.
Yeah, OPWC has been very helpful to the counties and the local entities throughout the years.
Yep. I think they trust you, and that's why that money comes available so quickly. So fantastic. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Item 13 is a recommendation to award a bid and execute the contract, and this is for project number LS0923, which is the 2023 landslides located in various townships and villages pursuant to the plans and specifications. And this will be to W.E. Smith Construction out of Blanchester for their lowest and best bid that was received on May 30th in the amount of $591,909.80 in compliance with the terms and conditions and contingent upon the release of the purchase order. We had 4 bids received on this project. So they range from 19% below the engineer's estimate up to about 6% over. So W.E. Smith was the lowest.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 13. Do I have a motion for approval?
I will make that motion.
I'll second that motion. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item 14.
Item 14, this is a recommendation to reduce the weight limit on another county bridge. This is bridge number C75 1.43, which is on Old Loveland, Miamiville Road, Miami Township. This reduction will be to a 12-ton limit as they found deterioration again with the annual inspections. This bridge only serves one property, so it's not really a publicly traveled bridge. It kind of acts as a driveway for this property. It's part of a spur that's off of Loveland Miamiville Road that was created when we vacated the portion in the 60s for State Route Interstate 275. So Loveland Miamiville Road used to go over and connect back up on the other side of 275. So this spur was left. It has a bridge on it. So luckily it's not going to affect a lot of property owners, and it may not even affect this property owner with this limit.
Board, you've heard the reading item number 14. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
And I will second that motion. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor.
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan.
Item number 15. Morning, Lyle.
Good morning. Item 15 is a recommendation to execute an extensive contract between Clermont County and Chemicals Incorporated out of Fairfield, Ohio for calcium nitrate supply and delivery for the Clermont County Water Resources Department. This was previously ratified by the board on August 31st, 2022. This will extend it for an additional 1-year period through August 30th, 2025. pursuant to and in compliance with Article 8 of the contract with all their terms and conditions to remain in full force and effect and contingent upon the receipt of the required purchase order. So we use calcium nitrate to help with odor control at our wastewater lift stations. So it used to be called bioxide, and that their patent ran out. So now we can publicly bid this. Once the extension ends in 25, we'll be rebidding this contract.
Okay. Board, you've heard the reading item number 15. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second. Any further conversation? Roll call, Gail. Commissioner
Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes.
Only one today, Lyle? You're slipping.
Item number 16.
Item number 16 is a recommendation to designate Gregory H. Simpson of Linden Creek Drive, Milford, Ohio, to serve as Clermont County's representative on the Board of Trustees of the Southwest Ohio Regional Transit Authority, or SORTA.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 16. Do I have a motion for approval?
No.
Mine would be no also.
Okay,
So-
the motion dies on the table.
With no second, it's a dead motion. Okay. Item number 17.
Item number 17 is a recommendation to reappoint the following representatives to serve on the Area 12 Workforce Investment Board as identified below pursuant to Section 107 of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Member's name is Zachary Stanfield. He's a business representative, and his term is 7/1/2024 through 6/30/2027.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 17. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that motion. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. Item number 18. We're going to talk about appropriations and finances.
Yes, we are.
You bet.
Exciting topic. I have a recommendation to resolve to approve and authorize changes in the annual appropriation resolution number 181-23 for calendar year 2024. This is a supplemental for a vacation payout from juvenile probation regular salary for $29,612.12.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 18. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
It's been moved and it's been second. And before I'll call a roll for that, I see that this is for some general funds in the juvenile probation. I know that later today, there'll probably be a request to add information to the agenda. And one of those agenda items is going to be about the completion of the juvenile jail. And, I would just like to say that, we've completed the juvenile jail facility. There seems to be a delay in moving into it that could, in fact, impact the contractor. So I was thinking about withholding my vote here and withholding this money up until they move into the facility. I'm just kidding. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor,
Yes.
Commissioner Painter.
Yes. That concludes our non-consent agenda. And we will move to the next item, which will be additions to the agenda. Item number F. Tom, are there any additions to the agenda?
Well, now that you mentioned the juvenile court expansion facility, we do have an update for the board before we do the addition to the agenda. So I'll introduce Mr. Grabowski and Ms. Powell, and they can give us an update on that facility and where we stand.
Absolutely. Morning.
We have Wade Grabowski here to give you a little bit of an update.
Good morning.
Morning.
They are
Morning.
listening, so that may have worked. Anyway, we wanted to give you.
Keep in mind, a common pleas judge has the ability to put a commissioner in jail until he conforms. So
Thank you for your time. Hey, it's
bet.
been a long, long time, but we did receive our conditional occupancy 2 weeks ago on a Monday. What we've spent last week is the diligent people that we wanted to thank for moving over there. The clerks are all over. The files, they moved in 3 days. We finalized on Wednesday all the protective material and security for the court services folks. The building, for the most part, is occupied with an exception. We thought that exception would go away yesterday with the HVAC being taken care of. But we do have a few minor glitches with some security aspects of it. So that's going to be ongoing. But after a phone call that Jessica and I made It looks like they have overnighted some pieces and parts that they needed. So cross our fingers. We hope that we have this thing up and ready to go very shortly.
And do I understand that that holdup is just the access readers? Is that what it is?
That is correct. There are 8 total panels in that building, similar to the proximity card readers that you have here. 3 had a bad encoder. The boards were okay, but the actual communication encoder was bad.
These brand new
Brand new.
devices.
Yes, they were brand new from proprietary controls and security out of Fontana, California. We've been using that system 28 years.
Mhm.
We've not really had an issue with it. This is a newer variety. However, parts can go bad. So those encoders were supposed to be drop shipped overnight. I haven't heard that they're in. We have Drew Allen, the person who handles the pictures and everything, on standby up there now to program them as they come in.
Do I understand also that we may have some spares that if it would become that those wouldn't be good, that we could swap out maybe?
Yes, and Jessica and I just found out literally on my way up here that those encoders were from the previous version of the IQ series. So we don't believe they'll work. So we're going to test them anyway, but we don't believe they were. We think they're a generation in arrears.
Okay.
So I think most of you have been in the building. It's a very well put together building. I think it'll be functional for years. I know that there's some discussion about substantial completion later. Please note that on that substantial completion, it's kind of like a punch list that you're giving them substantial completion. However, there are still items that are listed on that substantial completion that have to be done before we will get that full occupancy.
And keep in mind, we're at conditional substantial completion. We are occupying certain portions of the building.
Correct.
And that's allowable by the contract.
Yes, sir.
If there are portions that have been completed to the point to where occupancy can occur,
Yes.
and it has been inspected appropriately and given conditional occupancy by agencies such as the fire department, others, then that is an acceptable use. But one of the uses that isn't being done is we need to move the current courthouse, court rooms over into the new rooms.
Correct.
Because if we don't, that's going to impact the contractor starting phase 2.
That is correct.
And if we impact the contractor starting phase 2, then I use an old adage that says, then we're going to have to pay the nice man.
More delays. Pay the nice man. There was a meeting conducted yesterday afternoon between Mark Spalding Construction, Tom Eulenbrock, the foreman, and Judge Shriver with his entourage. We have worked out some things, but that is only to keep them busy for a short time period. Once that passes, then we are going to be at a delay.
Yep.
We
Okay.
are going to
Wait,
be.
I have to tell you, those courtrooms, we were up there last week,
Yes, ma'am.
are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, they are. They're well done.
Turned out nice.
It's been a lot of effort. The board has made a lot of considerations on this job, but the final product, it looks good. I think it's going to well represent the citizens of the county and the staff that are here, as well as all the people that are going to attend that place. One of the added things that I wanted to mention, so there's no stones left unturned, is we have a lease with Mental Health and Recovery. I just wanted to let everybody know that Dr. Leanne Watson and I have discussed the fact that we will be departing there. They have not moved yet because they just weren't ready. However, we plan on moving them in the next several weeks. So as of August the 31st, our lease with Mental Health and Recovery no longer exists. We were required to give them a 30-day notice, which was accomplished.
And where are they moving to?
They are moving to the front portion of the building. That would be the juvenile probation folks. If you toured that, it's the one with all the individual offices. Due to confidentiality now, that's one of the things that we did. The board approved that change order. So I think it's going to be very, very functional for them.
Fantastic.
It's really a well put together building. So, and then when phase 2 is done, obviously, we give up the corridor. They have to put the corridor in to connect everybody. Right now, court security is functioning out of 3 different locations. The existing juvenile court, domestic court, so the clerk, domestic clerk and domestic court can be taken care of security wise. One officer is at the new expansion, and then there's one floater in case there's issues with a courtroom or something like that, or they request that. So again, they've stepped up, and it's gone smoother than anyone could ever expect. And we like to say that's because we've done this before.
And, just to touch on another conversation is that these buildings, the current that are going on, juvenile and the highway garage, and then later on the administration building for the highway department,
Including CTC.
all of those are part of a huge plan called the capital project plan. And right now, there have been many years that these buildings have been used and we have leased buildings so that county employees could be housed. And this is all part of a plan to bring people back into a geographic area of where they do their work. In addition to that, there's a master plan that's being looked at across the entire county so that, we bring these county buildings up to specifications so that they can be used for many years. These utilization is taken a look at by the auditor every year. Many of these facilities fell in, some, I wouldn't say many, some fell into the yellow levels that said, we weren't utilizing these facilities like we should. So, there's lots of great work to be done. This work has all been done with money that has been saved and or correctly budgeted, thanks to, our OMB, management department, Emily, and ensured that we didn't have to go out and seek funds. We didn't have to issue bonds or go out for money. This is money that's being spent within this county that was saved and appropriately budgeted for. So, yeah,
That's correct.
great conversation. Aren't many government businesses that are able to do that. And I use the term business because it really is a business. No question. You bet.
And then when you look at statistics just 8 to 10 years ago, about 25% of our building, we leased that property. And now it's being brought back in. We have very few. The mental health and recovery lease is one of the last leases that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of OMB, we are taking care of the paperwork also to put the new juvenile court expansion under our insurance. So that'll be done today.
Okay. Well, thanks. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
that update.
Thank you.
You bet. And back to additions to the agenda. I understand we have one request for an addition to the agenda.
Yes, we do.
So we'll handle that first. I understand that it is from Jessica Powell
Mhm.
and is for to execute a substantial completion document. And so we'll add that to the agenda. Board, can I get a motion to add this to the agenda?
I'll make the motion to do the add-on.
And I'll second that. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes, it's been added. Jessica, tell us about it.
Alrighty. Well, as Wade said, he kind of said everything, but at this point in time, there's a recommendation to authorize me, Jessica Powell, the Assistant County Administrator of Procurement, Facilities, Fleet, and Clermont Transportation Connection, to execute the substantial completion documents with Mark Spalding Construction Company out of Florence, Kentucky, with all the relative to all the construction of the juvenile court expansion renovation project.
Board, you've heard the reading of the motion to allow Jessica to be able to execute substantial completion documents on this project. Do I have a motion to approve?
I will make that motion.
And I will second. Any conversation? Roll call again.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. Thanks, Jessica. Any other additions to the agenda? None?
No other additions. We do have a public hearing at 11. So I would,
So why don't we recess until 11 o'clock and come back and do a public hearing?
sir.
Do I have a motion to recess at 11 a.m.? I mean, we will recess at 10:30. We will return at 11 a.m. for a public hearing for the proposed vacation.
I will make that motion.
And I will second it. Roll call again.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes, we are in recess until 11 a.m. I know you had a lot of fun in the first part. Come back for the second.
To be continued, right?
Yeah. It's 11 o'clock. We are back from recess, and we will return this commissioners' meeting back into regular session. The time is 11 a.m. We said when we recessed, we would be back to do further business, that we had a hearing today. It's 11 a.m., and we are at item number G for a public hearing for the proposed vacation of MATTHIS Road in Williamsburg Township, pursuant to section 5553.04 of the Ohio Revised Code. So we will get started. Today is the date, time, and location of a public hearing to request the vacation of MATTHIS Road in Williamsburg Township. The board has viewed this particular roadway. We've actually had a tour of it this morning and are familiar with it. And we ask anyone that's here to attend this meeting to sign in, for them to do so in accordance with the official record. First up, before we get to any proponent or opponent testimony, Craig Reisner, our Deputy Surveyor for Clermont County Engineers Office, is here to present the engineer's report concerning this vacation. Craig, would you do the honors for us? Afternoon.
Craig Reisner, Clermont County Engineers Office. Today we have a proposed vacation of all of MATTHIS Road, Township Road 971, Williamsburg Township, for a proposed length of 1,875.99 feet or 0.355 miles. MATTHIS Road is directly off of State Route 276 and near the intersection of State Route 276 and State Route 32, located in Williamsburg Township. I've reviewed the plat and description contained in Williamsburg Township Trustees Resolution 2024-10. This is a resolution supporting the vacation of MATTHIS Road and is dated June 10th of 2024. This is an amendment of the original resolution 2024-09. MATTHIS Road, Township Road 971, was accepted as a Williamsburg Township public road in the Clermont County Board of Commissioners Journal 77, page 357 in 1974. The right-of-way of MATTHIS Road varies in width with a minimum of 66 feet, as shown on ODOT right-of-way plans CLE 32 8.54. Legal description and plat provided by Choice 1 are complete and acceptable. The proposed vacation will reduce the Williamsburg Township ODOT road mileage certificate by 0.368 miles. And the proposed vacation will not landlock any parcels. I went back and forth on this one. The proposed vacation will not land any parcels. Probably more accurate would have been to say any parcels owned by private citizens. There are 3 parcels that are owned by the Clermont County Board of Commissioners that you could technically say they would be landlocked, but they are owned by the commissioners. They're not owned by an individual. We had a viewing this morning at 9 a.m. Commissioner Batchelor and Commissioner Painter attended. There were no private residents in attendance. The adjacent property owners are ODOT and Nestle Purina. One thing I'd like to add, in this vacation, the Board of Commissioners own parcels of property in this vacation. And if you choose to pass the vacation, there's a restriction on this property by ODOT that would revert the property back to ODOT. So if the vacation is approved, before the commissioners could dispose of this property in any way, they would have to negotiate with ODOT in order for ODOT to release this reversion right. So ODOT will still have an interest in this property, whether you choose to vacate or not vacate.
So just to ask a question about that. So in other words, this was originally property that was owned by ODOT, was reverted to the Clermont County Commissioners and deeded to the commissioners as such, but has a right of reversion back to ODOT since they paid for this property originally. Would that be
When
correct?
ODOT built 32, they severed parcels in 2 with 32, denying them access. So MATTHIS Road was built as an access road. ODOT purchased the property and immediately deeded it to the Board of Commissioners with a reversion that said if it's no longer a public road, the property shall revert back to ODOT. And the commissioners agreed to this condition in I think it was 77,
Okay.
1977.
So if we were to vacate this property today, that would remove the responsibility for Williamsburg Township to have any maintenance requirements for that road, and it would come off their total roadway totals,
Correct.
but it would still remain deeded to the Clermont County Commissioners.
Correct.
For us to be able to relinquish this property after that, we would have to satisfy the requirements of ODOT, and then they would issue us a letter or some type of a statement that said we had paid them to relinquish those rights, and then it would remove that exclusion off of the deed.
Right. I have had some unofficial talks with ODOT representatives, and they would, as they've done this in the past, an option would be for them, they would just release this restriction or this reversion.
And once that restriction of the reversion, then we could disposition this property to the CIC or to what properly in accordance with the requirements, so that it could be used for further economic development in that particular area.
Correct. Once if ODOT releases their rights, the commissioners could dispose of it as they wish according to the rules. Yeah.
But regardless of how you do it, it doesn't matter the order of sequence. One of those sequences has to be that you vacate this roadway.
That's correct. At some point, the commissioners have to vacate, if they choose to. They need to vacate to release their easement for the public to drive up and down on this road.
Okay. Makes perfect sense. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else for Craig before he leaves the podium? Then I would move on there. Obviously, if there's anyone here that is going to provide proponent or opponent testimony today, I need to swear you in. Is there anyone here who's going to provide sworn testimony? Seeing none, there's no need to do that. Is anyone present that'd like to comment on the request to vacate Mathis Road? No comments? Okay. Well, the Board of County Commissioners office acknowledges for the record that has there been any correspondence received?
There has been none.
Okay.
Engineer's office, any correspondence?
Okay. Hearing that there's been no correspondence, the next step would be to close this public hearing. Is there any reason why this public hearing should not be closed? Since there's no further testimony either way, then I would at this time close the public hearing. Okay. We have closed the public hearing and we will move on with our agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda?
Yes, at this point, as you both know, I always prepare a resolution to vacate or not to vacate. And at this time, you can make your decision if you'd like. I believe the last day is August 12th to decide. So if you would like to go ahead and move forward with the Mathis Road vacation, you can.
So what I would say is, board, we have the ability to add this to the agenda. Would you like to make a motion to add this vacation to the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. And now would you like to make a motion as to whether a favorable vacation or to reject the vacation?
I can read the motion if you like.
Please.
Okay, go ahead.
There's a recommendation to adopt resolution number 091-24 determining to vacate Mathis Road, Township Road 971 in Williamsburg Township, Clermont County, Ohio, as described pursuant to and in compliance with section 5553.04 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Board, you've heard the reading of a resolution for a favorable vacation of this road. Do I have a motion to approve?
Yes, I'll make the motion.
And I'll second that motion. Any further conversation? I think it's been laid out pretty good as to, what the necessary next steps
Right.
are. But, those steps will have to be determined by the commissioners and how that you want to dispose of this. Obviously, next step will be to contact ODOT and see if we can get this right of reversion eliminated. So, okay.
And thanks for taking us up there this morning.
You bet. Roll call.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes. With that vote, the vacation is approved. Thank you. Any other additions to the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay, we will move on with H, county elected officials discussion. We've kind of had some county elected officials discussion this morning. Anything further?
I'm just glad to hear of our update on our juvenile court expansion project.
Isn't that great?
It was good to hear.
It is great.
And you
Fantastic.
understand you don't get that office. I do.
Did you work that out already?
Judge Shriver said I could have it.
I knew I should have missed that meeting.
For those who are listening that don't know that the juvenile court is a very nice new office building. There are some very attractive offices there that have double windows and really nice how would they say it? Digs. Really nice digs.
It's a beautiful building.
It is. It's very nice. Hearing nothing from county elected officials, member comments? We were one down today. We were at a 30% deficit. We wish Commissioner Corcoran safe travels as she returns from back at the Republican National Convention. I think that's fantastic. So you bet. Safe travels. Anything else for member comments?
No.
I would ask for a motion to adjourn,
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
and I'll second that motion. Roll call, Gail.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran? Commissioner Painter? Sorry.
Yes.
Got
This
that in
can-
my head.
All right. This concludes our meeting for July 17th, 2024. We're glad that you joined us, and we will see you next week. Thank you.